And as you can see at half-time, St. John's College 8, Parktown Boys 17. And we're going to go down to Andy Capistano on the field.
Okay, well, welcome back. I've got the headmaster of St. John's College, Paul Eadie, with me. Paul, it's a wonderful day. The weather gods have shined on us. Just a shame about the score at the moment.
Yeah, we certainly, after the rain, we're delighted with a wonderful day. Good support from both sides and a good atmosphere here. But everything to play for in the second half.
Now, from a headmaster's point of view, this is always a long day, isn't it? You've probably been going since 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, yeah, we started... Games kicked off 8:30 and there was some hockey as well. But it's been a great day. Played in really, really good spirit.
What about your new coach who came towards the end of last year? I'm told he's made a big difference with the fitness of your players.
Well, the boys are certainly well conditioned and I think looking in good form, and hopefully we can pull it out the bag in the second half.
Now, what you're hoping, of course, is that this is just a curtain raiser for the Easter Festival, which starts on Thursday. You've got some fantastic schools coming.
Yes, we've got some top-ranked schools in the country coming to our 21st Easter Festival, and we're really looking forward to that. And, some great games of schoolboy rugby.
Now, I can see the boys are ready to go behind us, so I shall say bye-bye. Good luck for the second half.
Many thanks, Andy. Thank you.
OK, that was Paul Eadie. Let me hand you back to commentary.
Well, while Andy Capistano runs across the field and up the stairs and gets his seat next to me, we can recap that the score at half-time is 17 points to Parktown, 8 points to St. John's, and hopefully an exciting game of rugby in the second half.
Yes, let's hope so. Well, certainly Paul Eadie seemed keen. He seemed to think they were going to fight their way back into the game. So there's Sabia, captain of St. John's. And in this second half, it'll be St. John's receiving, and they'll be playing in the blue jerseys from right to left on your screen. The men in black are from Parktown, across the way. And Rainier Vermeulen gets the signal from our intrepid floor manager. And away we go. Ethan Anderson hoists it high. That's gone forward from the leaping Connor Woodward. Referee must have thought a little bit about the possibility of a penalty there in the air with the advancing players, but he's just given the knock on.
Yeah, it was Tambwe Madosha who's been ever present in this game. But you can't blame him there. He was going for the ball, and just a little bit of a clash in there, but nothing to it.
It'll be interesting to see if either side uses their bench early in this second half. Of course, this being schoolboy rugby, the bench will have already played a game, and most of them will have featured in that second team game that, let me remind you, finished 33-7 to St. John's. But the first team currently trailing.
Yes, I said you, Andy. There aren't many substitutions made at schoolboy level. I don't know what it's like now, but in our day, we only came off if we were, dragged off by an ambulance or, on a stretcher. Otherwise, you never gave up your position to a second team player.
I can remember Mike Gibson. I'm that old. I can remember Mike Gibson being the first man ever to be a replacement, rather than an injury replacement in a game of rugby. Big shove this time from the home side. Here's Tyler Murray. Nice little pass out in front. It's crossing in midfield. Tambwe Madosha thought he was under the posts there.
Oh, I like the way they're trying to bring him into the game. He's a big, strong runner, and he's been ever present, like I said earlier. They've got to bring him more into the game, give him the ball, let him take it up in the midfield, come off his wing. I think it's fantastic.
So Holston sends the ball into opposition territory. Let's see if St. John's can get on the bus early in this second half.
Check your numbers, Black.
Really is a wonderful setting. Very few places in the world where you'd have a view like that. So Sabia looking for the high-leaping David McAlpine. He's done well. Here's Holston sending it out in front of the try-scorer, Kilbourne. Now back from Berger to Holston. Oh, lovely running from the fly-half. That was an important tap tackle from his opposite number. Now Berger sending it down the right-hand side. Strong run there from the tight head prop, William Kamwenda. Up to the 22 they go. Out from Berger, Ziller with the show of the ball. He does well to hold it up through the tackle, gets the pass away. Could be a yellow card. It might not need to be. What a handoff that is, and a second try for Quintus Kilbourne, and St John's are back in it.
It's exactly that, Annie. They look fantastic in the midfield. Get the ball out to them. You can see the support runners they've got. They're running from depth, and they've got the skills in the back line. You know, don't try have that forward battle. You know, give that up. That's okay. You don't have to win that every single time. But the skills are there. And as you can see, I mean, you've got Zille here. He's got hands, and a couple of guys again, all those straight runners, and the opportunity pounces for Quintus Kilbourne again, and another try.
Conversion is good from Holston, and that has certainly changed matters around. That's beautiful, isn't it? He thought better of it. You can injure yourself doing things like that.
We had a guy called Jerris Nicholas who did just that, doing exactly that.
I remember that. He dislocated a shoulder, didn't he? Scoring a try.
Well, there's your first point. There's Atcrick who's in Kimberley. Who dives in Kimberley? Place it neatly.
So here are Parktown boys on the attack. The referee will bring them back for an earlier knock, and Parktown will have the feed to the scrum. Well, we did hear from both of the coaches that they were expecting a close game today.
The guys said was perfect.
And I think they were absolutely right.
Hey? I would go say 50-50. The last scrum was good, don't change it. Come closer, come closer. No pre-engage. Crouch. 8 men in.
Here's Matthew van Heestien to feed the scrum for Parktown. Lovely attacking platform.
Safe. Stability.
There's a lot of shoving before the ball came in there.
We were discussing it before, anyway. The schoolboy rugby, you're not allowed to push more. What is it, 1.5 meters? Kind of takes the advantage away from a very dominant Parktown boys pack. But I understand safety first at schoolboy level, at any level. But it does take a little bit of the advantage away.
Yes, the old-timers will be wringing their hands, saying, what has the game come to?
Bind. Safe.
So this time Van Heestien
Stop
with a clean feed, pick up off the back by Frasca. And then some good stepping from Anderson. Bigger than your average fly half, and he's not afraid to take on the physical aspect of the game. Little chip from Tando Mabasa has gone wrong, and now Parktown have to regroup inside their own 22. It's taken by Darren Solomon. He managed to get the kick away before the tackle came in. Now, how does that ball bounce? Neatly in this instance, and then maybe the wrong option from Holston. Solomon gives it to Anderson, and Anderson sends it downtown. Pick up by Garrick Stead. And now in midfield, Bongani Malali. Not held in the tackle.
Last feet, come, Kip.
Here's Berger. Gives it to his captain, Sabia.
Number 2.
Referee got in the way there, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Nicholas Cambanis picks up. Oh, that's good play. You see the way that Junior Ntlani recognised the fact that that ball was out, and as long as he came through the gate, he was allowed to play it. And now there's a chance for Nkusikona Masuku. Little box kick from Van Heestien. That's a brilliant kick, and that may have gone forward from Anderson. Yes, it did. But what a decision there from the scrum half.
Yeah, and as you said, fantastic option there. He looked up, he saw that the fullback was out of place. The kick could have been slightly better, a little deeper, and given his fast backs an opportunity to run onto the ball. But still, good opportunity, a good option.
Well, this is a real seesaw contest now.
Again, huh? Listen to me.
You'd hate to pick a winner here.
Are you going off?
Lots of endeavour from both sides. Parktown perhaps looking the more structured team.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Andy. If I had a gut feel and I had a magic ball, I would say, that Parktown are probably looking a little bit more dominant. However, you've got St. John's staying in the game, taking advantage of being able to get the ball wide, and they've got those backs that have got the skills to break down the defences in the midfield. And so they keep staying in the game, and they're looking dangerous. And one or two more opportunities like that, and we could have a very different game from a team that does look dominant, not actually winning it.
See the broadcast tower in the background there, and that is pretty close to where Parktown Boys originated. Their first school buildings have now been subsumed by the SABC buildings at Auckland Park. Now, of course, move closer down into the city.
We're not talking about
from
it again.
there.
It's 10.
And as for the Sir Herbert Baker building, that dates back to the first decade of the 20th century.
Crouch.
Looking majestic in the
Come closer, Black.
late autumn sunshine.
Not comfortable with the distance. You stay. Come
This
closer.
is the sort of weather that makes people come to
Crouch.
Johannesburg.
Bind.
So free kick
Engage.
goes the way of Parktown. Again, you feel that St. John's are so keen to get the hit in that they're engaging too early. Taken up by Darnell Aswagu. Penalty to the boys from Parktown, and they may choose to take the points here.
Number 2 and
that's exactly what's happening.
Just to come back to the weather you were mentioning about Johannesburg having the best winters. Summer, should we say, not winter, with all the rainfall. I flew in from George yesterday, and it didn't feel like the dust bowl sand pit that I'm used to. It was beautifully green. So there's obviously been a lot of rain around the last couple of days. And like you said, sitting under the oak trees, watching a game of schoolboy rugby, couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, they've had lovely rain here. Let's hope that we get some more rain across the country. Desperate for water at the moment. This is Ethan Anderson. Oh dear, that's come off the side of the boot.
reason for the free kick.
Well,
at the
it can
scrum
happen. Anybody who saw the Bulls against the Sharks last night, Joe Peterson had kicked like a dream all evening, had one in front to win the game, and it went wide. It can happen. So St. John's will restart from their 22. Kieran Holston gets as much distance as he can. It's well claimed there by Ethan Frasca.
Tackle out! Feet.
Oh, that's lovely timing of the pass there. Halfway line you're looking at. The penalty goes the way of St. John's.
Good daylight. Isolated. Good daylight.
There was Nicholas Kambanis there. Great steal. Got in first. Knew the rules well. It's like any flanker should. Got in there, stole the ball.
Well, he's got academic colours as well, so he's not just a pretty face. So here's a chance for St. John's, taking play inside the opposition 22.
7 walking in.
Sabir has a full line out. I can see that St. John's have already brought on Callum McCormack wearing number 21. And he is slotting in on the left wing.
Use it now. Release and get out.
Good defence there from Parktown. He must get out of the way.
Crawling on your foot.
Yeah, that is a penalty. He's just blocking the ball. So what can St John's do with the advantage? Working the short side through David McAlpine.
New advantage, number 9 Black, slowing it, wrong way.
Okay, so the tide is beginning to turn in favour of the home side.
Last feet, number 5, step. You have a penalty
Pick and go
advantage,
from
Blue.
Cambanis, who's had a prominent role in the second half. Good secondary drive there. That's a super tackle coming in on the charging Damien Henwood. There's a real chance here for St John's. They're over the line. The captain scores, and St John's are in front. There go the Bashers.
Exactly what I was against everything I said, that they took on Parktown boys at the forwards game, but they set up the platform. They were patient, and they hit it up once, twice, 3 times, and then gave it to the backs. And there they created the momentum and managed to break through and score.
Because
have a look
again. Chat with their captain, there was 2 penalty advantages against them, 1 for not rolling and 1 for off feet. Talk to number 6.
Great line by Sabia. You don't have to be the biggest guy in the world, just run hard, run fast, back yourself. And tries will happen.
Obviously a called move as well, with the fly half pushing the ball on the inside. Lovely angle from the hooker. And now here is the man who gave the scoring pass, Kieran Holston.
This is Joe Peterson's kick from last night, by the way, just in case you missed it.
Oh, you got some evil looks from the St John's parents there. Holston, he wouldn't have dared miss that. His uncle's in the crowd, is James Small.
He's clearly got his big game temperament on. Yeah, good skills, great line. I mean, basic, good rugby.
Well, I mentioned to Paul Eady, this is Zilla, by the way, whose parents are also at the ground. Here's Sabia. I did mention to Paul Eady, the headmaster of St John's, that I'd heard good things about the fitness of the St John's boys under their new coach, Kevin Musikamp. And that is certainly showing up now as we head into the final quarter of the game. Lovely timing of the pass there. Good run from from Wimberger. Up to the halfway line goes St John's.
Let it come.
Hit the front for the first time in the game. They've won the penalty. And the Parktown boys, for the first time, you're just seeing some heads go down.
I was just going to mention that, Andy. This is the first time in the game they've been ahead. They've been trailing, and I said staying in and staying in.
You're going into
but now you can see they've got a little bit of the ascendancy. They've got their tails up, they're confident. They're taking on Parktown boys at their own game, and they've also got the hometown crowd, which are bouncing up and down here. They've obviously they've got the sniff of victory in their nostrils.
Off feet, number 2 Black.
Little lecture from the referee to captain of Parktown. Holston sets up the line out deep inside the 22, and now St John's are really looking to go for the jugular here. Well, I mentioned the Easter Festival coming, and all those boys will be here to support it, and they're going to have night rugby here for the first time. They're bringing in cranes that'll have lights.
Stay up.
There's going to be some fantastic games over the course of the Easter weekend, so if you get a chance, come and support the schoolboy rugby. We've also got 14 prep schools playing rugby during the festival as well. That's never happened in South Africa before. Sabia has missed his man. And there was a little knock on as well, so Parktown will have the feet to the scrum.
Option, Lesiwa. Scrum or line up.
Yeah, a little disappointing. You can see his head's down there. You know, these are the things we're talking about. Get your basics right. You've created the opportunity. You're down in the opposition half. Make sure you hit your jumper. Get that right first. Because St John's have been doing that. Recently, they've been setting up the phases and looking really dangerous.
Biggest issue with the
they give away the advantage when you can't hit your jumper.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we've got a little injury here. So, since I was mentioning the Easter Festival, if you really fancy it, on Thursday there's 2 big games. Paul Russ against Hilton from the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, and the final game of the day on Thursday under the lights will be St John's against Nelspruit. On Saturday, the big game is Paul Russ against Monument. It's always a huge game. And then on Easter Monday, Affies against Paul Russ. Don't just come for the main games. There's rugby all the way through the day, and it's always a fantastic time, as Dave van Hesselen will tell you.
No clean game.
And not just here, they're all around the country. I bumped into Peter Rousseau yesterday, who was with Paul Jim. You know, he was with the Bulls for a very long time. Now he's with Paul Jim, and there's another rugby festival. I can't remember it for the life of me, and I am at St John's, so I'm not going to give them the the air time. This is St John's time, but I did see him at the airport yesterday, and it's good to see, you know, rugby players back in the game, you know, giving back and helping the youngsters come through.
Out 9.
Yeah, here are Parktown van Heesten sending it out.
Number 9, you can't go into the box.
Has penalised Wim Burger, who was out of his blocks a little early at scrum half.
Is your mark?
You've got to do anything to expose that lack of pace in the number 9.
Well, Andy, as you'll know, any scrum up with his salt is good over about 25 metres. That's about it.
It's amazing how stereotyping happens at all age groups.
Well, all we have is 25 metres and our mouths as scrum half, so we've got to utilise those.
So here we are on the halfway line. What a sight.
Check your numbers, Blue. 1 up. Move. Go.
Putting the ball in is Darnell Aswagu. And this time Ethan Frasca leaps high to claim it. Van Heesten sticks the ball into the Highveld sunshine. It's claimed by Holston.
Move! 11!
Pick and go is an excellent one, and now it's taken on by the double try scorer Quintus Kilbourne. He takes it to the 10-metre line. St John's looking relentless here. Lovely pass out of the side there from William Kamwenda.
Last 3, no 3. Vantage 3, offside.
So offside is a call against Parktown boys. They're really battling to get their hands on the ball. Sabia breaks the first tackle, makes it available well. Pick up by Kambanis.
You have a penalty advantage, Blue, for offside.
Another advantage, and
use it.
Just now we might see a yellow card coming.
You see the on ball number
not
2,
happy with that, so they'll come back for the penalty.
Number 3 black offside.
Quite interesting to see that St John's are taking on Parktown boys at their own game and actually winning it, you know, getting the momentum.
What a difference that must make to have all your mates in the stands cheering on. Now, here's a decision, and it's a late decision. Kieran Holston is going to kick a goal, but it wasn't communicated to the man carrying the kicking tee. That's a good job he's got a kicking tee, because I don't think he'd be able to make a hole in that turf.
Half a minute left, just inside the 15. You can go there, quick. Inside the 15, 10.
So I mentioned James Small being this man's uncle, and James Small now coaching Pirates, I see, in the Pirates Grand Challenge here in Johannesburg. And of course last couple of seasons he's been with Pucker in the Varsity Cup, now with Pirates. It's a good strike from Holston, and over it goes. What an important kick. It's made it an 8-point gap.
Check your runners.
Anderson's kick is well claimed by Jonathan Stafford.
Stay on your feet too. Move out there.
Stentorian tones of the referee.
Last week.
Well, it's very obvious here that Parktown boys are just battling to get their hands on the ball.
Feeling under pressure.
They've got to kick a goal here, though, I fancy. They just haven't seen the ball. They need to put points on the board.
We can't carry on like this.
I do, and as much as I've just said that St John's are taking them on, I just thought there was one or two phases too many. You know, they'd be doing great work in setting the platform, but it just got a bit static there. That ball should have gone to the back, either kick it downfield or use those exciting backs. The Van Hastian, Quintus Kilborn, the number 12, scored 2 tries, made a big break down the middle here. Get it out to those guys, give them an opportunity. You know, I think that's where their strength lies.
Well, I would have kicked the goal there, but the decision has been made by Parktown to set the line out. Perhaps didn't get as far forward as they would have liked. Now, can they claim the ball and get the drive on? Well taken by Ethan Frasca. Now they do indeed get the drive on. St John's must beware. Well, they managed to sack it legally. Now it comes out. That's a beautiful delayed pass there. Tando Mobasa is in for Parktown boys. I was wrong, they were right.
You can't get it right every time, Andy, but yes, great rugby, great skills, exactly what you're talking about, running not at the man but at the gap and getting your hands through and taking a leaf out of Quintus Kilborn and his troops for exactly what I'm talking about here, getting through the gap, running hard and running straight.
Yeah, lovely timing of the pass from Tyler Murray. So Ethan Anderson to add the extra points, and if this goes over, we've got a 1-point ball game. It's amazing. It's as if somebody hits the mute button, and that is over, and the mute button is unleashed again.
Okay, well, they haven't really shown him going through the gap there, but Mabasa was, ran hard and strong and fast. He was maybe holding the ball. He's got the ball in the right hand. Maybe keeping them both, as an option. But great running.
Well, what a finish we're in for here. Just over 10 minutes left in the game. The restart coming from Holston. Che Carpenter couldn't hang on.
Carried back.
A little box kick has been claimed by Wim Berger. Berger's held up by Frasca. Slow ball emerging, and so the forwards
Discipline one, last
to drive it.
Work on it.
That's the
Offside
22-metre line of Parktown boys, you can see.
Use it.
Strong defence there from Junior and Nklane.
Tackle release.
Now Berger, Kamwenda. Kambanis is held. Calling for troops to the left are Parktown boys. They know how dangerous this back line is. Up from fullback is Garrick Stead. It's still available. The referee saw, I think, a forward pass there.
Just a forward.
Yeah, well, a little bit lateral from St John's. They took it up 1 or 2 phases more than I would have liked. It got a bit static, and then they went and gave that to the fly half, who didn't really have many options, and they kind of just got shadowed to the right hand side of the field, and that's where the mistake came in. It all just got a bit static.
8.5 roughly there.
Oh, cramp.
Well,
that is, of course, an enemy of early season, particularly with the sun beating down.
Are we carrying on? Fine. Time's not
We're talking
stopping.
about beating down. Remember, I told you just before this, so we had that Easter festival with St John's, and Dr. Louis Late was going to come and open up for us, and he arrived so late, and then we were standing in the Johannesburg sun with it beating down on us. We had some very grumpy schoolboys.
Let's go, guys. Bind up.
And I believe he gave a very perfunctory speech.
Yeah, it was very motivational. I think it went something to the extent of, I now pronounce St John's Festival open.
We have to make time, guys. We're not stopping. Crouch.
The late Louis Late. Love him or hate him, he was a character.
Bind. Set. Stability. Stop.
Free kick goes the way of St John's.
Far side 1, moving. There, behind the scrum.
Tap and go from Ziller.
There.
No, he's going to get another opportunity.
Number 1, stability.
And here he goes. Nephew of Helen. His elder brother played in this fixture last year. Nicholas, who's now at UCT. Nice use of the ball there from the St John's boys. It's quickly available. Here's Kumwenda. He loves that inside pass, and that is going to be a try. Philip Mparutsa.
Okay.
Referee is just having
Okay,
a
I've got
quick
a knock-on
word
call.
with the touch
Thank you.
judge.
Knock on.
Yeah, it was a knock-on. Oh, so Philip Mparutsa doesn't get the try. We've still got a 1-point ball game.
What I like to see from the St John's players is that they've obviously been given the freedom of expressing themselves by their coach. They're very happy to throw the ball around and try these little passes. I don't know about a knock on, maybe a forward pass, but I don't see the knock on there.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think forward pass might be the call.
Bind up. Let's
Whatever,
go.
it's not a try. And it is absolutely
Stability
crucial
before
scrum
the
down
feed.
for
Crouch.
Parktown boys.
Bind.
This is the third classic clash
still.
between these two sides. They, of course, have played against each other for many, many years, but the third
Flank it
classic
down.
clash, it's 1-1 at the moment.
Stop. Black.
Out from Van Hastian to Anderson, and Anderson punts it downfield. That's where he wants to be. Taken in by Garrick Stead.
Blue. Exit out.
He's returned with interest. That's a nasty ball. The wind is just starting to get up here.
Black. Out.
Yes, straight into touch, and so they'll come back for a line out on the 22.
They did.
And the crowd is trying to sing the home side to victory. We've got about 6 minutes left in the fixture.
Check your numbers, Black.
Wonderful atmosphere here now. Sabir to feed the line out. He'll never forget captaining on a day like this. It's taken by McAlpine. Berger does well to make the ball available, but there was a little knock forward. And Parktown will have to feed. There's Kevin Musikants, the coach of St John's. It comes from Lithuanian stock.
5 minutes, come wait.
There's the middle, Lucas. Same as the previous one. Crouch. Bind. Set. Stability.
Van Hastian with the feed. Warwick Lang stepping through the first tackle. Really offensive defence from the St John's boys there. Taken up by Tarnel Aswagu. Here's Van Hastian with the lateral ball. Quickly into the hands of Anderson it goes. He's up to the 10.
It's a good steal.
Fancy that from this position the next score wins it. Penalty goes the way of St John's.
He's in a position of strength and he's won it.
Do they dare kick a goal from here?
Holding. Doesn't matter. He's released and he's come back.
And that is the answer.
It's good daylight by the
Had a
number
look at
7
his
and then
captain,
he
said
came
no,
back.
I can't go from there.
I wouldn't have advised it either. Only puts them 4 points ahead, even if you had got it from an unlikely position. Rather keep it with 6 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go, 3.5 minutes to go. No, just keep them down in their half. Keep the pressure on. Just make sure you win your line-up. They struggle with that of late.
Second face there was Andrew Finsale, the coach of Parktown boys. He's a cage fighter in another life.
Use one. Let it come now. Last feet, number 5.
Is that ball available? It is.
Stay on your
Can
feet,
St
Blue.
John's wind down the clock in the opposition 22? Parktown aware
play,
that
stay
they
on your
mustn't
feet.
give away penalties here. That's great defence, hitting them back in the
Keep the
tackle.
discipline.
Tight forwards are earning their corn here. And it comes from Berger. Quintus Kilbourne coming on the cutback. This is an opportunity for St John's into the hands
I'm happy with that
of
one.
Herman Lubega. Quickly available. This is Bongani Malali. Over the top it goes. And the reserve, Callum McCormack, is very close. Can he get it down? The referee says it's held up.
Blue.
Well, that was fantastic skills. And McCormack in the corner teaches the ball was the pass was on his ankles. I don't think the skip was necessary. They had the overlap. They just had run and draw, and they could have scored in the corner. But the thing I'm noticing with the St John's players, they're only too confident to get the passes away, and I think that's been the difference. Is that they've taken those opportunities.
I'm playing on. I'm not waiting for that player. Either change him or play on quickly.
The player running onto the ball, the support players.
So
Let's
we've got
go. Bind up
a scrum
forwards.
down here with a St John's feed. We've got less than 2 minutes
Just work on
left.
stability. That's all I'm asking. 1.5. Crouch. Bind. Set.
If they manage to turn this into a try, you wait and
Ice
listen
man
for the
down.
roar. Always going for the blind side. Pick up by Zilla.
Right, get out now, get out.
Good defence from Parktown. Desperate to turn the ball over.
Up an advantage
They
play.
have turned it over. What can they do from here?
Advantage over.
They're looking to run it from deep inside their own 22. It's gone
Knock on
forward.
advantage, Blue.
Knock-on advantage is the call. Back inside
Advantage
from
over.
Garrickstead. Taken by Holston. Holston is surrounded by Parktown players. Wonderful hands. Taken by Kilbourne. What a finish
Knock on
to this
advantage
game.
Black.
It's turnover ball. Here's Tyler Murray. He sends it out. Ethan Frasco
Advantage
with the
over.
shot of the ball. He's away. He's got a speedy winger
Fine.
outside him. He gets
No.
the pass away. It's taken by Junior Ntlani. Junior Ntlani is through. And he is going to win this game for Parktown boys with the last movement of the match. What a finish to this FMB Classic Clash.
Yeah,
It's
so late.
Ntlani's second.
And the players out on their feet as
That's a
well.
long
You've got
flat pass.
a
It's
couple
well
of the
done.
Parktown boys they haven't even made it back to halfway, still lying on their backs. That's the way you want a schoolboy game to end. It went turnover, end-to-end stuff. And St John's couldn't keep the pressure. There was a turnover, a brilliant piece of skill to break the line. And at the end was a Junior Ntlani with the pace to be able to out with the St John's cover defence and
Have a
score
look
it.
at this break and the pass from Frasco. May that have gone forward? It doesn't matter. The referees ignored it. What a finish.
It is a finish. It would be disappointing if that were the case, and it does look like there was a possibility of being forward. But nonetheless, a very exciting game into what has been a fantastic game of rugby.
And there it is. Well, you said it. An end to a fantastic game of rugby. For much of the game, the Parktown boys were in front. Then, in the third quarter of the game, St John's really brought themselves back into the game with 2 great tries. It looked as if they had done enough to win the game. But turnover ball in the last minute has led to a fantastic try from Junior Ntlani. What a finish to this FMB Classic Clash. And if all of them are like that this season, we are in for some wonderful entertainment on SuperSport. Well, you've got to feel for the coach who's had a quick word with the referee. Was that a forward pass? Doesn't matter, the whistle's gone. So it's Lasiba Malopa who will have the bragging rights. He's the captain of Parktown boys. Played in this fixture last year. There's his coach, Andrew Van Sale. And what a finish.
Yeah, and just to add, I mean, I don't think that forward pass is, I think it's not important. If you look at where St John's were in the field, they should have just been a bit more disciplined and ensured that they finished off the game. They weren't able to do that, turned it over, and Parktown boys came away with it.
So there we go. That's the final score in this FMB Classic Clash. St John's College 25, Parktown boys 31.
Thank you.